at the end of the day, you're the one that has to go home and look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of who you are.
Mm.
um you have to believe it first, because no one else is going to believe it if you don't. It's so grateful for, because performing is one of like my favorite things.
Favorite
that
things,
is
yeah.
that is where I feel the most comfortable
Right.
completely. I'm like, I could be having the worst day ever, but I can go on stage and then it's like I just leave it all there. And then I come off
Yeah.
stage and I'm like, okay, I that was like therapy. If you only live in your comfort zone your entire life, you're limiting yourself to right here. But as soon as you start pushing yourself just a little bit further, not obviously where it changes who you are, but where it's just another extension of you, I think is the biggest thing, where it just, you allow yourself to grow and
Hmm.
you become a better person. And overall, I think that's the
Hmm.
biggest thing.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About This. My guest today is Presley Tennant. Presley is a country singer. You might have seen her on the show The Voice. Presley has opened for a few people. She's opened for Tim McGraw, Blake Shelton, Kelly Clarkson, and Honey Counting. Wow, you opened up for a lot of people.
Well, thank you. It has been so much fun getting to work with these people. I mean, I've looked up to them in so many different ways, more than just one. And I don't know, it's weird being able to like look at somebody and really appreciate what they do, not only as artists, but who they are outside of stage. But then getting to work with them, it's just this, I don't know, never in a million years did I think that this is where my life would be right now, whatsoever.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. These are some major name people you opened up for. From where are you at right now at the moment?
So I live in California, but I'm in between here in Tennessee, Nashville, half the time. So right now I'm back in California. I just got back a couple days ago. And I'm
Okay.
not gonna lie, I was there when it was, I think it was -2 degrees. And coming from California, it only gets up to about 60, I feel like is the coldest, at least where
Right.
I'm from. So I always thought that was cold. So I never ever will take California weather for granted anymore. But I am
Right.
back home in California.
Right.
It's a little place called Norco. It's a small little horse town down south.
Oh, okay. All right. What's the
Yeah.
temperature like now over there where you at now? Is it cold or is it?
It's like 56. It's been raining
Oh,
off and on, and I'm like,
yeah.
I love the rain. I
Mm-hmm.
do. But then
Yeah.
after the snow, I really, really, really love the rain.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. You know what? I would prefer rain over snow, cold over snow. I don't like snow. Snow is nice to look at,
Yep.
but I mean, it's beautiful when you look out the windows and stuff, but to be out there in it, no. I would rather be in California right now or Florida, to be
Yep.
honest with you.
I the thing is, I even love the snow, and I go snowboarding and I go up to the mountains all the time, but the roads are all fine. I don't have to worry about not being like getting stuck in the house. And so when I got stuck in the house for 3 days, I was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it was all hills. We're like trying to get out of everything. And I was like, there's no way I'm getting around this. So I just took it all in while I could. And
Right,
then now that I'm back, I'm like, oh, the warmth, the
right.
sunny 60 degrees during winter, my favorite
Yeah.
thing ever.
Right, right. I can't wait for the summer already and winter just started. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
But
I get it.
yeah, but Presley, tell me about your life. So when did you started your singing career? When did you decide you wanted to get into being an artist? Was that originally something you wanted to do all your life, was to sing?
So growing up, I come from a very soccer oriented family. Like everybody played soccer. My dad played, he was my coach for years. My brother went to college for it. And so that was like what I thought I was going to do with my life. And so I
Right.
played soccer from 5 years old to, I want to say, 12 years old.
Okay.
Every day was playing it, every weekend was on club teams and things like that. But I always had a love for singing. And so whenever there was like, it was Taco Tuesday at like the local Mexican restaurant near my house, and they
Mm,
always had a karaoke machine. So I'd always be the first one up there singing some Pat Benatar. Didn't matter what it was. It was always Pat Benatar's Heartbreaker.
right.
And so I started singing just for fun in a way. And then I started doing little local talent, like competition shows type thing. And I was introduced to the mayor of of Temecula. And
Mm-hmm.
she introduced me to this girl group called the Five LPs, or the Five Little Princesses.
Right.
And it was girls from 10 years old to 13 wearing pink tutus out to the side, knee-high bedazzled Converse. It was everything. It was like Toddlers and Tiaras meets Kids Bop, but on steroids. I swear. And it was the best experience ever because I became so close with the girls and I learned so much about the music industry. And at that time, because I was playing soccer, I asked my parents to homeschool me, and so they did. So I was able to go to rehearsals every day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., drive home, go to soccer practice, finish my homework at night, and then do it all again every single day, almost 5 days a week. And so I wanted to do both, but it became to a point where I was like, you know what? My parents kind of sat down and had the conversation with me. It was like, you're 11. Like, this should not be what your life is supposed to be. Like, you need to still be a kid in a way. But I enjoyed every bit of it, and I fell in love with the music industry. And so when my dad was my coach, I kind of just after that talk, I made the decision, like, I think I know where I want to go into, and I think that's music. I enjoy it, and I love every bit of it, from the rehearsals to the writing to the recording to the performing. I just loved being around and working 24/7. That was my fun. That was the best thing I think I could have ever done. And so I dove into music completely full force. And so we got to work with like the Jacksons, and we went out to Vegas when they had the residency and got to meet everyone, and perform for them, which was so cool because growing up, the Jacksons were one of my favorite bands like ever. I would
So
always sing their songs.
you sung for Michael Jackson's family?
Not, yes.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Now, what members of the Jacksons did you sing for?
I honestly, I think it was almost all of them. I know
Okay.
they had their residency, and then I remember, I think it was Boys to Men. So a few people from Boys to Men was there, and I was like also freaking out because I always was the biggest fan. I was like, anybody vocally talented, and I was like,
Right.
so
Right.
I was in heaven, and all the other girls around me, they knew who it was, but they didn't quite understand it. And because I was primarily the only vocalist, I couldn't dance, but I tried my hardest. But the
Right.
other girls were professional dancers, so they were like, oh, if like a big time choreographer walked in, they would be the ones freaking out. And I was like, I don't know who this is, but no, it was so cool. We got to work with Jackie, and I don't know, it was just such a cool experience, especially from 10 to 13 years old. I'm very, very fortunate for it.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got to work with Kelly Rowland for a while, and do things like that from Destiny's Child. And it was so surreal. And then after the group ended when I was about 13 years old, and we all kind of went our separate ways. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, if I wanted to, and I knew I wanted to keep doing music. I just didn't know where to dive in at. And so I started taking dance classes up in LA. I could dance a little bit, but I was jumping in with these professional dancers, front center of the class, and they're all dancing for Rihanna, for like Beyonce, for Justin Bieber. And I was like, I can do a somersault. Like,
Right.
I'm going to try. I had no
Right.
fear. And so I started doing that, and I then started working with somebody, and he really took me underneath his wing and taught me so many different things. I started writing my own music and recording and putting it out, and really just got immersed. If I wasn't immersed before into the music industry, that was like the moment where I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I know this is where I'm supposed to be at. It's like that cheesy little movie moment where it's like, oh, like
Right.
this is what I'm here for.
Right.
And it was one of those things. And so I started writing music and releasing it, and then I ended up on season 16 of The Voice. And at that time I was doing pop music. But I always had a love for country music because that's where I'm from. It's very country oriented. Like, everyone, we don't have sidewalks, we have horse trails. You go inside the grocery store, or you go to a restaurant, and that's all they play is country music. And so it's always kind of been a part of me, but I continued on the path that I knew because the girl group was a pop Christian girl group. And so I started, when I went on The Voice, I kind of did a lot of soul searching during that time and trying to figure out who I was, because right before The Voice, I was writing music, and it wasn't that it was bad music. It was incredible. It just wasn't who I was. And it was kind of like that inner battle being like, okay, I can do this, but am I going to be, do I have to live something that I'm not? Like, I wasn't the cool girl. I wasn't like, I remember I went to like my first like high school party and there was like beer there, and I called my mom and I was like, Mom, come pick me up, they're drinking. Like, it was not cool. I would got like
Right.
banned from everywhere after that. They're like, she not fun, goodbye. Never got invited to another one. I was fine with it.
Right. Right.
And so I was like, and I'm trying to be something that I wasn't. I was trying to grow up and be a lot older than I was, and I didn't want to. And I was like, just taking a moment. I was like, what do I want to say with my music? Who do I want to be? And I remember I walked into a meeting and they're like, no, it's an alter ego. Like, you have to walk in and some people can do it. They can turn it on and off. And
Right.
but for myself, I just want to be able to live my truth and put out the music that I want to put out and speak who I am.
Right.
Because it wasn't even like there was a side of me that was even a part of it, like gravitating towards it. It was like completely two different people. And I was like,
Right.
well, which one am I today?
Right.
Am I Patricia or am I Presley? Like, one of those
Right.
things.
It's too much work. It's too much work trying to be something else, you know?
Yeah.
Just be
And so
yourself. Yep.
and so I came off The Voice as a country artist, and that was kind of the coolest thing. And I owe a lot of that to Kelly Clarkson and getting to work with her, because she told me when we were sitting there, I want to say it was my top 24 round, and I was singing Nothing Breaks Like a Heart by Miley Cyrus. And it's a very like pop, synthy, 80s kind of Dolly Parton kind of vibe. It's like
Mm-hmm.
this world can hurt you, it cuts you deep and leaves a scar. But I remember listening to it and I was like, there's not much I can do with this. And so she sat there with me for like 2 hours, just
Mm-hmm.
going over the song and making any changes that we could. Because I remember the one thing that she told me that always stuck with me, and this is, I owe a lot of this to her. um like, she said, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to go home and look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
um you have to believe it first, because no one else is going to believe it if you don't.
That's true.
It's only a facade for so long, and people are going to be able to see right through it. And so I took that
Mm-hmm.
to heart, and so I came off The Voice and I took a little like, I know I wanted to do music, but I just didn't know what direction. It was like, as soon as I looked in the country direction, it just kind of made sense, because I'm able to do it all, because I love so many different genres.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like the overall, and I was like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
um and so I started writing. I started going out to Nashville and learning about the writing process there and things like that, and working with so many incredible people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've written so many songs. I'm out there about once a month now. So I just was out there like 2 3 days ago, writing even
Mm-hmm.
more and having meetings, and now I'm going back out there. And I don't know, it's been such a fun journe. And every
Right.
single person that I've met along the way has just made it even more worthwhile, because I've been very, very blessed and very fortunate to have only really had good experiences. And I know I'm also still fairly young. I'm 21, but during that time, that was like a lot of growing up. I felt like I've never been my age, if that makes sense.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like you grew up too fast, or you think you just moved too fast, or you just
I don't
kind of
I wouldn't change anything about the way I grew up. I don't feel like I grew up too fast. I was still able to be a kid, and I still, but it was just like my version of being kid wasn't going to play with dolls. It was like, oh, I'm gonna go do my homework so I can go to rehearsal, because I knew that that was the way it worked in my
right,
house.
right.
Um, Little things like that, but I loved every bit of it, and it
Mm-hmm.
was and I loved being in the professional environment, working with people that knew what they were doing, and I was like just taking it all in as much as I could.
Right.
Um, and so I don't know, it's been incredible so far, and I'm really excited to see what's to happen in the future.
So how did you get a chance? How did you get on The Voice? How did you get that opportunity to get on that show?
So The Voice, I remember I was 13, and I believe that they reached out through like Instagram or something like that. And at that time, the age limit was 15. So I wasn't old
Mm-hmm.
enough. And so I replied back and I was like, hey, I would love to, but I'm not old enough yet. And then it
Mm-hmm.
happened again when I was 14. And then all of a sudden they changed the limit down to like 13. And then I was like 15. They didn't reach out. And I was like, okay, but like, it wasn't even like a thought in my mind. It was just kind of like one of those things. I was like, if it came up, it came up. But if it didn't, then I wasn't too crazy about it.
Right.
And then they reached back out again, and I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, I feel like at this point in time, I can hang with the big dogs. Like, I'd be competing against people who do this as their livelihood, who have been singing longer than I've been alive. But I feel confident enough that if I go into this, I can give it my all and at least be in the same realm as everybody.
Right.
Um, and so everything is kind of filmed in Southern California area, so it was close for me. And so I went in for an audition, and I felt like it was from May to October-ish. Felt like I had like a round of auditions each month.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept bringing me back. And I remember after the first one, I was like, oh, okay, like that was it. Like I'm not gonna hear anything back. I felt like I bombed that audition. I was like, well, so
Right.
be it. And I continued on, and all of a sudden I got a call saying, hey, we want you to come back again. And then I went back, did an interview round, and they're like, okay, cool, we'll be in touch. And I was like, okay, like
That's
what,
it.
what is going on?
Right.
And then I finally got to the point where I was there for the auditions, and uh the auditions, it was probably about like a month-long process, and like I was still in school, so I had to go to school on set every day with the set teacher and all the other kids. And I don't know, we just did school, we did rehearsals, we did wardrobe was my favorite because I just sat there and I was like, dress me like a pretty doll, that sort
Right.
of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
um and then hair, makeup, and all those things, and then working with the band. I mean, they've played for everyone underneath the sun. They're some of the most incredible musicians that I have ever gotten to work with.
Mm.
And then even I think it was my audition for the actual audition, I remember I was not nervous whatsoever. And I was like, yeah, I got this. Like, it's muscle memory at this point. I'm feeling good about myself. And I was like, I can't psych myself out now. Like, I'm about to walk out through these doors.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like the double doors open, and I was like feeling good. Take my first step, and I felt my knees start to buckle, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna fall!" There was
Right.
like there's stairs on the way up, and I was like, "I'm gonna fall, eat
Mm-hmm.
it so hard, and everybody's just gonna laugh at me." That was just my whole entire thought process. And then I got up stage. Thank God I didn't fall.
Mm-hmm.
And then the music started, and I heard like the first 10 seconds, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, gone, can't hear anything." But
Mm.
muscle memory kicked in. I sang my song, and then Kelly Clarkson turned around, and that was just, I want to do the biggest dance on stage at that moment. But I knew I couldn't. But I knew I was like, okay, I can relax now. I'm here. I'm on the show. I can sit in the moment and take it all in. And
Right.
so, um, and it was just the most surreal moment getting to work with Kelly, because I don't know. I think it's like a full circle moment in general, because she was part of the reason why I first started singing. Like, I grew up listening, and like not even just listening, like every single one of her songs I knew.
Mm. Yeah,
She was my
she has an amazing voice. So yeah, so the voice. So how was it being on the voice? I know you must have been excited when you got the call to be on the
it was
voice.
it was one of those things where it was just kind of surreal. And I remember the entire process of the auditions were, it was so crazy. I didn't realize how many steps actually went into the auditions, like
Mm-hmm.
the pre auditions before the audition. I felt like from May to October there was something going on each month, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, you got the call, now you're here.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be here in 2 weeks, and this is what you're doing. And I remember being there, and it was like I just made, I mean, the my experience on The Voice, I know a lot of people have different experiences, but for myself, it was one of the best ones I think I ever could have had. I'm still so incredibly close with some of the artists that were on the show. I see them half the time when I go out to Nashville, which is really cool. And like, I don't know, they're some of my best friends. I could talk to them about anything, and I'm like, oh my god, this makes fine. If that was
Yeah.
like the only thing that came out of it, I would have been so happy. But
Yeah.
I, and just so many more things happened. And I remember like when Kelly Clarkson, she turned her chair, and that was just like the most surreal moment, because it was, I like to say it's a full circle moment, because she was part of the reason why I first started singing in general.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I would always sing her song at because like her song Because of You at every single little talent show audition near my house. Like even
Mm-hmm.
when I first got started into the girl group, that's what I would always sing. And then she was my first concert ever. And then she was my coach. And then you know, when people say like don't meet your idols, because if they don't live up to it, then you might have like a bad experience. It
Mm-hmm.
was never the case with her. She was the best person I think I
Mm.
ever could have imagined meeting. She's everything that you see on TV and just so much more. And I think that was really cool. And I've never been really starstruck over anybody. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fairly relaxed person. Um, And I wouldn't say fairly. I am a relaxed person. Like half the time I feel like people can't tell like what I'm thinking because I'm just like analyzing everything and I'm like, well, I'm so excited. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, I swear to God, I
Right.
swear. I internalize everything. I know I shouldn't, but
Right.
it was like one of those things that my mom looked over at me and like my mouth was just open the entire time. And she's like, Presley, like speak. Like you can use words today. Like it was one of
Right.
those things.
Right.
And then she was just so incredible and it made me so happy to see that. And then after I ended up getting eliminated during top 24, but then they brought me back out for the finale.
Mm-hmm.
And that was incredible. And I got to sing with three of my closest friends that were on the show. And I remember I walked out like to go play. And then as soon as we were done singing, we sang like I think it was Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. And then it went to commercial break. And so we all started walking back to the green room area.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly walks up and she was like, hey, like I have a show in Vegas on Friday. Like, do you want to come sing with me? And I literally lost my mind because it
You
was my
wasn't
17th.
you wasn't
I was
expecting that.
No, not at all.
Oh.
And it was my 17th birthday that day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I got to sing with her. I got to sing Because of You with her. And then she brought me out a cake and sang me happy birthday on stage. And I was like, this is like my dream has been made.
Wow.
It was it was just the most crazy thing ever. And I just remember making jokes to my dad and be like, hey dad, this was my 17th birthday. Like, how are we gonna top it next year? We haven't.
Right.
There's not been any topping it. That's probably gonna be like the highlight of my
Right.
birthdays at this point. But you know what?
Right.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm grateful.
Right. Right.
So, but it was the coolest experience I think I ever had.
Wow, that is so nice, man, man. So when they first chose you, I know when you first got chosen, you must have been, you wasn't expecting to be chosen when you first, when you first auditioned. How was the auditions? Was it really gruesome auditions to be on that show?
Not really. They take the staff over at The Voice. They take such incredible care of everybody.
Okay.
And I think that's the coolest thing ever. To know, like I don't know, you become like it becomes a family. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the hardest part, like when people start to leave, it's like, oh my God, like you're watching your family leave right now, and that was really devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but no, I think the worst part about it was audition day. I think I had to be up at I think I got up around like 3:45, but I also didn't go to bed till like midnight because the adrenaline's going. And then I woke up and I was like, I don't feel tired at all until 10 minutes before I walk on, and I'm like, I need to take a nap. Like it was one of those things.
Right.
No, but they it wasn't very gruesome. It was what I expected from show business.
Okay.
Um, but I think if people aren't used to show business, then yeah, it could be a lot at one point.
A lot
But
of time.
once you start going through the process, it becomes easier. It just kind
Okay.
of becomes routine at that point.
Right. Right. So tell me about your debut EP, 600 Miles.
So 600 miles I released last, oh my gosh, is it last year? It's 2024 now. This is why it's so crazy.
Right.
Almost a year and a half ago,
Hmm.
I released this, or a little over a year ago. I should preface that. So I released 600 miles, and I have been writing ever since I started going out to Nashville. I want to say it was about 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I started writing songs out there. And so there was a lot that happened, especially during 2020. It might have been a little bit beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
But everything going on in the world between like COVID
Yeah.
and so many different things, there was
Yeah.
that really spoke heavy on my heart. And I kind of just I felt like it was a journal that I was writing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the EP talks all about like I love, like first love and heartbreak and what's going on in the world. And I felt like it was just this diary that I was pouring my soul into. And I was like, oh my God. And then it got to the point where, I mean, as I get older, I feel like the more I'm maturing. And so I wanted to kind of open up this next chapter of my life, but I didn't want these songs to go to waste because I love the songs for what they are. And
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of put all the pieces together and I was like, what if I just put like an EP out and this is like and just name it 600 miles, which is the title track on the EP. But I felt like it was fitting because I've been on this journey for so long. I've been in music since I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just been like singing, like I've been in the industry. And so I was like, well, this is kind of like I don't know. It's just this is like another extension of me, at least in this point of my life. And so I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
put that out there. And so there's 600 miles, there's How Many Kisses, Mess with My Man, Pray for Peace, God Forbid We Pray, and Love's Gonna Win.
Mhm.
And I felt like a lot of those songs, like at least in that moment of time, they really spoke to me, and they still do today. But it was just, I really wanted to put that project out there, and I'm really glad I did, because now that I'm writing more, there's definitely a little bit of a switch.
Mhm.
But I feel like as I get older and I'm trying different things and I am like testing the waters with different types of music, um, I just wanted to put that out there, and I'm so glad I did, because the response has been incredible, and I'm so thankful for that.
Mm.
Never in a million years did I think this is where it would be at, but I am just eternally grateful it is.
Wow, that's nice. I mean, now is this your first and only EP that you have right now?
Yeah, so before
Okay.
it was just singles, and then I put out the EP, and then I want to say I think the EP is about the last thing I put out.
Okay.
Um, and so, but this year I'm very excited because there's so much new music coming out very soon.
Okay.
I think within the last year, I think I just from me going out to Nashville and like do my little trips for a week to a week and a half,
Mhm.
I think I have almost like 85 to 100 songs that
Wow.
I'm getting ready to pick from. Yeah. And so, and then there's even more from being back home, but majority of it is when I'm writing out there because I come back and I play shows.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot of music you've been writing. So I guess you write consistently. Are you always in the studio recording often? Because I know
So,
some artists live in the studio, so, constantly recording. Like, I just heard Chris Brown say that he recorded, I forget how many songs he recorded, but he has so many songs that he has recorded that he haven't even released yet. He's one of my favorite pop R&B artists. That I think I went to see him 3 times in concert. Um,
oh my gosh.
yeah, I'm a big fan of Chris Brown. I don't know. He just reminds me a lot of Michael Jackson. And I was a
Yes.
big fan of Michael Jackson. So, seeing him in concert and seeing how much passion he has for his music, you could see it in the way that he performs. I don't know where he get all the energy from, because every set he dance every set, and I'm like, is he tired yet? It's like, where did he get all this energy? But he's one of my favorite artists. But so your music, is it streaming right now? You have it on stream, the
Yes. So it's
EP?
all on streaming platforms, whether it's Apple Music, Spotify. I know there's a million other ones, but I know those are the main two, but they're on
Right.
everywhere. So,
Oh,
yes.
that's amazing. Now, are you how is it performing? Are you out doing any gigs as far as getting out and performing at different venues and things of that nature?
Yeah, so I play a lot back I'm here in California. So I'll be playing at NAM this week, which I'm very excited for, and then I'll be in Nashville. I come back, and then I'll be playing a few other places. And then I'll be playing at Boots in the Park, getting to open up for Thomas Rhett, which I'm so excited for, and that's in my hometown. And
Mm-hmm.
I love playing in my hometown because it's just one of those things where it's like I don't know, especially after The Voice, everyone was so supportive, and so I don't know,
Yeah.
getting to see everybody, but also it's the most nerve wracking
Right.
because I'm gonna see everybody at like the Target, like across the street, and be like,
Right.
they're gonna be like, "Hey, girl, like what was that?" And I'm gonna be like,
Right.
"What do you mean?"
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
or
Yeah.
they're gonna be really nice. I hope it's the latter of the two.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then I'm going up north a lot this year, which I'm very excited for. And I think I
Okay.
have almost every weekend that I'm back that I'm not in Nashville booked out up until like June or July, which I am it's so grateful for because performing is one of like my favorite things.
Favorite
That
things.
is
Yeah.
that is where I feel the most comfortable
Right.
completely. I'm like, I could be having the worst day ever, but I can go on stage and then it's like I just leave it all there. And then I come off
Yeah.
stage and I'm like, okay, that was like therapy. As
That's
weird as that sounds.
I was gonna say that probably is like therapy for you when you get on stage and perform. That was gonna be my next question. What do you like most, recording or performing? So you just answered the question already, which is so. Are you independent? Or are you signed to a major label, or are you strictly just focusing on doing everything on your own as an independent artist?
So I am independent. I do have a team that's out in Nashville, and they're the most incredible people that I've gotten to work with. And
Mhm.
they're over at Burning Ground and Core PR. And but otherwise, no label, just independent. And so they've really been help guiding me, trying to figure out and navigate this whole music industry. Because you feel like you know a lot, but in
Mhm.
reality, you're like, very minuscule.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, but right now a lot of it has just been getting the whole back end work done of getting the
Mhm.
music and getting the shows and getting all the little bits and pieces, like the missing puzzle pieces
Mm.
together.
Right.
And so I'm just independent right now. That was
Yeah.
the
And
longest explanation of just saying independent.
yeah. Well, you know what? I think that's the best way to go. I mean, you're not sitting around and waiting for a recording contract. You're out there, you're putting your music out there, you're putting your art out there, and you write all your own music, which is a good thing because that's where all the money is at. Writing, especially writing your own music. So that's a good thing that you're out there and you're booked and you're letting the world see you. Whereas
Thank you.
whereas and right now with this social media era, everyone can see your talent. Like years ago, before social media even came about, it was really hard. It wasn't as easy to be seen. You would have to record a CD or record an album and try to get to a record company, and hopefully somebody heard your CD. So the good thing about social media is you can let the world hear and see your music. So what's the feedback you're getting from the fans on your social media pages?
It has been incredible. I will say that social media, I love social media for what it is. And I feel like,
Yeah,
especially for independent artists
yeah.
specifically, you have all the resources at your fingertips.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just the way that you strategically have to go about it. Is
Mhm.
what I've learned, but while also still being true to yourself. Like I get to post things and then I'll for an example, I listened to Zach Bryan's American Heartbreak album, and it was like a 35 song album, and it dropped right before I was flying back home. And so I downloaded it, put it on, and I remember there was one song that always stuck out to me. And granted, that was already the song that was already circulating social media, but that was Something in the Orange. And
Mhm.
I remember listening to it and I was like, there's something about this song that's just so special. And so and the whole song is about how this girl isn't coming back. She left and that she's not coming back, and it ended and for reasons unknown. And so I was like, what if it's interesting if, like, from the girl's perspective, that she is coming back, but he just doesn't know it, and that he's
Mm.
just all in his head. And so I rewrote the song, like just the chorus of it from the
Mhm.
female's perspective, and I posted it to TikTok. And I remember, I think it was like a Sunday, and
Mhm.
I posted it, and that was like the worst, analytically wise, is like the worst day to post. But I was like, I'm just posting this just to post. Like, this is, I like
Right.
the video, it turned out good, like the way I sound, I like the lyrics. Like, I'm just gonna post it. And then
Right.
like 2 days later, it blew up out of nowhere, and I was like,
Mm.
what is going on? And so there was a lot of responses from that, and a lot of people had asked for like a full version of the song. And so I
Mhm.
rewrote the whole song, put it out there as a cover. And it did so well off of
Mm.
something so simple. And I knew social media had the power of doing that, but I didn't realize to what extent.
Right.
Um, and I think that's the coolest thing about it, especially as an independent artist, is that you get to post what you want and still have people listen to it, and you have all the opportunity. You have the same opportunity as people who are signed, which is the coolest thing.
Right.
um and so the response from social media has been incredible. I'm like, I have no complaints, I'm happy as can be.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's been a social media is such a cool thing. Like, I love living in the 21st century at the same time, but also I'm like, I wish I could just put down my phone for like 25 seconds.
Yeah. I
It's
know.
those sorts of things, but also it's like you want to be engaged and you want to see what's going on, but then also you want to don't want to get too caught up in it, and
Right.
you want to live in the moment. I don't know, it's a weird thing, but I feel like I have a nice balance now.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can work with any artist in the industry right now, who would be one of your favorite artists you would like to have featured with you on a song?
You know what? I know exactly. Oh my God. See, this is the problem, that there's like six. As soon as I said I knew one, and I was like, there's like six other ones that pop up there. I to do a song with and like have on the track, I would say Chris Stapleton. I
Okay.
love the way that he doesn't even have to be singing a word and you just feel every single bit of it. Like he can be saying the word "oh" and you're like, yes, please, like that, amazing.
Right.
There's just so much soul and so much heart that goes into his singing, and I'm like, can I just be like half that, like a little quarter of what he has? Can you just like sprinkle it on and then I
Mm-hmm.
get the magic?
Yeah.
Um, Writing wise, I would love to work with Ashley McBride. I think her writing is just the most. I love when you're able to listen to a song and
Mm-hmm.
you're able to visualize it like you're
You could.
living in that exact moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily just about the feeling, it's about like the picture and
You could
like,
picture it. Yeah.
yeah, there's something so special about that. And I feel like she does that in every single one of her songs. And I'm like, I wish I could have this, even just a little bit of her brain power too. I don't know. I love taking inspiration from all of them. I think it's the best
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So how is it? How do your parents feel about you being in the industry? Uh, did they give you any kind of feedback? Because the industry can be, you're still young and you're still just getting into the industry. How do your parents feel about you making this your career?
They are so extremely supportive.
That's good.
I uh, and I think we
Yes.
so my parents had no ties to the music industry. We did not know the music industry was like a thing. And I thought it was growing up. I thought it was like, oh, you're on Disney Channel. You're going to be the world's biggest artist. That like that sort of thing. It was just like it just happened. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like a whole process.
Yeah.
And so they have been incredible, and I feel like we're all learning at the same time, we're all growing together, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
um and they're always there for me. I mean, my mom was the one driving me up to LA almost every single day, and that was like nice. It's only an hour without traffic, but
Mm.
there was, when you're leaving at 4 o'clock, you're sitting in like 2.5 3 hours of traffic every day, and I was like, wow. She
Right.
is a saint for that. My mom is like my best friend.
Mm.
I owe all of our time in the car because of that. um
Yeah.
and no, they have been incredible. I mean, my mom used to come out with me to Nashville all the time. I'm now going by myself. I have family that lives out there, so I always stay with them nowadays. But no, they've just been so incredibly supportive, and that's a big thing, because I know a lot of people also who are in this industry, and maybe their families don't have the same appreciation for it. They just don't quite understand it. But I think because we were all in it together,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of was just like, okay, like, yeah, let's take this one step at a time and see where this goes.
Yeah.
um while also still being strategic, because you don't want to go into something blindly and then all of a sudden it's like, well, the blind leading the blind type thing, you know.
Right. Right.
it's
Right.
not always it's not always the best combination, but no, I'm very fortunate for them.
Oh, that's good. It's good to have that support,
Yeah.
especially coming into an industry, especially coming into the entertainment industry, it's a big business to be involved in. So it's good to have that great support behind you. Now, you opened up at a halftime sports event,
Hmm.
and this was for the WNBA?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that. Opening up, that must have been exciting.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I think I was 14 or 15 at that time when I really started working with the WNBA with LA Sparks. And they had this campaign called We Are Girl. It's called the We Are Girls campaign, and so it was a bunch of young girls who are like-minded, whether it's creatively or like different things that were more like the entrepreneurial type of person. And so we got to hold like different classes, and it was as little as things as like little yoga classes or like a dance class or something like that. And so we all get to work with each other and all these other girls that would come in, and it was just all for women empowerment, for female
Mm-hmm.
empowerment. And that was the
Right.
coolest thing ever. And then the more I worked with them, and then they found out that I sang and then I danced, and they were like, oh my gosh, well, we do this thing called Camp Day. And I think it was about 15 to 20,000 kids. I did it a few times
Mm-hmm.
over the years. And so 15 to 20,000 kids that were in summer camps or different things like that. And so they would all they'd all come to this game at one time, and so we made a little instructional video and like the dance to like one of the songs, and so I got to play the whole 15 minutes during halftime, and all these kids were standing up and dancing in their seats to my music, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I felt like I was like I was I don't even know how to describe it. I thought I was really cool. And
Right.
it was really good for my self-esteem at that in that moment
Right.
of time. Um
Mhm.
no, but it was just the coolest thing ever. It was I don't even know how to describe it, because looking back at it, you're like, oh, like,
Yeah.
it was just like one of those things, not one of those things, because it was the coolest thing at that time,
Right.
and still is partially the coolest thing, because what 14-year-old gets to do that, gets to play, and
That's what I'm
everybody
saying. That's
knows their song, and I'm like, oh,
mhm.
I I don't know, it's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you had a lot of great experiences at a young age, and really good opportunities. A lot of independent artists don't get those type of opportunities. So that's really good. That's amazing. I'm really happy for you. And I also see here that you was in People's Magazine. Uh, Tell me about that. When did you get that opportunity?
So it was right after I released the cover of Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan, because that got a lot of traction.
Uh huh.
Um, and I was also releasing music during that time. So it was one of those things where it was like, I just saw on my calendar one day and I was like, oh my God, what? What is this? I was like, surely this is not the same People magazine that I would always read in the grocery stores type thing, like, right?
Right.
And then it was, and I was like, okay. um,
Wow.
that was really cool, and it was talking all things about how the song, uh the cover came to be, and all things about my new music and what I have going on, and I was just like, this is not real.
Yeah.
Someone pinched me because I'm dreaming right now.
Mm.
It was just so cool. I like every once in a while I look back at like the interview and I'm like,
Yeah.
this wasn't a real thing.
I know
Like
how you.
I'm just dreaming about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know how you feel because I remember when I was in the movie, I was in a few major motion pictures because I used to model in the past, and I used to do some extra work in major films, and I never forget. I know how you feel when you say that, when you say to somebody, pinch you to see if it's real, because I was in a movie called Fallen with Denzel Washington, and I'm on the set, and I'm thinking to myself, I couldn't believe that I was there. It's one of those situations where you're like, am I really here? I had to ask somebody, I can't believe I'm standing right next to Denzel Washington. And they was like, yeah, you're here. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. But it was a nice experience. So I could relate to what you were saying when you're in a situation like that. So tell me about the next gig, and what do you have coming up next for you?
So I will be playing over at Boots in the Park on March 9th in Norfolk, California at Silver Lakes. And that's also a little full circle moment because I grew up playing soccer on those fields.
Okay.
That they do the concert at. So I'm like, it's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting to open up for Thomas Rhett and so many more incredible artists. And then I will be going back out to Nashville and then coming back, and then I'll be up north playing again. I'll be down in Key West for a songwriters festival. Well, it's my second year doing this, which I'm very excited for, and getting to meet so many more songwriters that have
Mm-hmm.
written every hit song underneath the sun. I swear
Mm.
it is like I walked in, I felt like I was at Disneyland. Like
Mm.
it's songwriter Disneyland. And then I come
Wow.
back directly afterwards, and then I head up north again, and I'll be playing, and I'll be opening up for Sam Hunt, and uh just I don't know, the lineups are incredible, and I'm I'm just so very excited for what this next couple months are going to come like.
It sounds like you have a promising career ahead of you.
Well, thank
So,
you.
I mean, because you have already experienced some major things already, as far as your music career is concerned. It says here that so you work with Tim McGraw, or you opened up for Tim McGraw?
I opened up for Tim, and that was last I've opened up for him a few times now at this point. Down in I think I opened up for him, it was in Norco, and then I opened up for him down in at the beach for Coastal Country Jam, and that was one of the coolest shows that I ever played because I think there was about 25,000 people there, and it was right
Okay.
on the beach. And I was like, this is not, again, not, it was one of
Not
those not
real.
real moments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it was especially like that moment of time was really special because growing up, like one of my favorite songs was "Don't Take the Girl" by him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was like one of my, like my dad and I's like favorite song. We'd always play it inside the truck when we were driving to soccer practice, and it was like, just don't take the girl, it like that sort of thing. And it was, I don't know, it was just like a sweet moment. And then I got to see him play it live, and I was like, oh god,
Right,
this
right.
is it it's just the craziest feeling ever. And I've looked up to
Mm.
these artists for so long, and then now that I get to work with them and share the same stage, and it's like they're all normal people. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I've always known that, but I don't know, it's just so different when you see somebody and you appreciate them for their art
Mm-hmm.
and you respect them so much for their art, and then when
Mm.
they come on stage and then you get to see it live, it just makes everything so much more. I don't know, I have a different appreciation for them in so many
Right.
different ways because of that.
Yeah. I bet you do. Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. Personally, I want to ask you one thing. I hate to put you on the spot, but could you give me a little bit of something? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I would like to hear your voice. I've heard the music, but I would like to hear a little bit of something.
Oh, let
Whatever
me.
is on your whatever's on your head, something a little snippet, just a little snippet.
Oh, I have my guitar right here. I can grab that real fast and I can sing a
Yeah, get the
chorus.
guitar. Yeah, that's even better. I'm getting some entertainment right here now.
Where's my pick at? Oh well, we're gonna do it without the
I
pick.
didn't even know you played guitar. So
I
you
play a
play?
little bit.
Okay. When did you learn how to play the guitar? Or you taught you? Did
Uh,
you teach yourself how to play? Or
so I have had my guitar. I want to say right after, when was it? Right after The Voice, I bought my first guitar,
oh,
and I could not play it for the life of me. I was horrible. I did not know what any chords were. I just played off the sound, and then
right.
I watched a couple YouTube videos,
Yeah.
and I honestly, last year was when I really picked up the guitar and I was like, I'm learning this. I'm over having other people learn my songs. I feel so not smart,
Mm,
and I want to be able to do what everyone else is able to do. And so
right.
I, every day for like 3 to 6 hours, depending on the time. Most of the time it was at midnight. My little sister was like, Presley, go to bed. I got school in the morning.
Right.
And I was like, no.
Right.
I was like, I'll just play really quiet. And then it ends up being like a, it
Right.
was like one
Right.
of those things. And she's like knocking on my door, like, shut up. Um, like,
Right.
sorry, girl. And so I started learning how to play then, and I play all the time now.
Oh wow. Okay, let me hear a little something.
So this is my song called "How Many Kisses" that's on the EP. It's one of my favorite songs that I have right now.
Okay.
How many butterflies end up all night? Don't wanna go to sleep yet. 2 a.m. lighting up the phone, sharing all our secrets. Yeah, how many times can we play with the fire when it's almost too hot to touch? How many kisses till it's love? How many kisses till it's love? Why can't we admit it? We can't get enough. How many kisses till it's love? Oh, but a little something.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
You're the first one who sang on my platform. Oh, you sound good, man.
Thank you so much.
Wow. I wish you much success on your career. I could see you taking off soon, just keep doing what you're doing and stay connected, with some of the people that you're working with right now in your career. You do have a manager, right? You have someone who is managing your career.
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, he's a good manager. I mean, for you to have these amazing opportunities, he's got to be an awesome manager. So, but Or
She
is it
is just
she?
no, you're good.
Oh,
No,
okay.
she is just wonderful. Like I don't know, there's so many different things that I would have never have thought in a million years like, "Oh, I should be doing this." And she's like, "No, no, no." And then I do it and I'm like, "Oh my God, it makes sense." Like I get it. Like I'm trusting every
Right.
little bit up to her
Yeah.
because I'm like, she knows more than I do.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because, usually, yeah, she's a manager, so I'm sure she knows the business and, different things that she has to connect with as far as your career is concerned. So, yeah, I'm very happy for you, and I wish you so much success in the near future. And any shout outs or anything you want to say to anyone out there? Also, before we go, I wanted to ask you about this platform is based on mental health as well. So, what do you do to keep your mental health intact? To keep from we all go through things in life. Life has its ups and downs. So, what do you do to keep your mental health intact as you're pursuing your career and you're going down this journey of your music?
I think the biggest thing for myself is, this sounds so cheesy, and I know it's a lot easier to say than it is to actually do, but it's truly just being your most authentic self, where no one can take that away from you.
That's
Um,
true.
and so when things get hard, you want to be able to do things for you, whether you're the type of person that needs to get out to, even if it's just go take a walk
Hmm.
in fresh air, just to kind of get your mind off of things.
Hmm.
Um, I know for myself, it's being with my family and being with my friends and being with loved ones. That is a big thing for me. But also, I know I can get into this point where I'm like a little hermit and I don't want
Hmm.
to see anybody and I don't want to talk to anybody, but it's forcing myself outside of my comfort zone.
Hmm.
Um, that for myself is what helps me to get back on track, as well as not being afraid to get out of my comfort zone, because that's
Hmm.
when you if you only live in your comfort zone your entire life, you're limiting yourself to right here. But as soon as you start pushing yourself just a little bit further, not obviously where it changes who you are, but where it's just another extension of you, I think is the biggest thing, where it just, you allow yourself to grow and
Hmm.
you become a better person. And overall, I think that's the
Hmm.
biggest thing.
Yeah, and you learn a lot about yourself too when you come out of that comfort zone. You'd be like, "Oh my God, I should have did this a long time ago."
There's
So
so many things, even little stupid things. It's like going on a roller coaster if you never would, but it's like if you do
right,
it, I mean, at least now you could say that you did it, and if you didn't like it, then you go back to what you're doing beforehand. It's little
right,
things. I
right.
mean, that's probably like
Yeah,
the worst example. That it should be a little bit more meaningful and heartfelt, but that
yeah,
was just the first thought process that
yeah, yeah.
came up. So I really hope
Right.
people got that analogy. Otherwise, they're gonna be like, "Why did she talk about roller coasters for now?"
Well, that was a good analogy because a lot of people are afraid to get on roller coasters. I know I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I, I'm one of them. It took me a while to even. Let me tell you, it took a while for me to even fly again. I didn't think I would ever get on a plane, especially after 9/11.
Mm.
I never thought I was going to ever fly again. I was like, oh, that's it. I'm not flying no more. But then I said, well, if I want to travel, I'm going to have to fly. So, I had to face that fear and with a couple of drinks of alcohol, I had to face that fear. And then I was like, man, if I want to go to California, I'm going to have to get on this plane. So yeah, you have to come out your comfort zone so you could experience so many other things in life. There's so many things out there to experience. Even the
Yeah.
world. It's a whole world out there. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I wish you so much success on your career. And where could people find you on social media?
Thank you so much. And people can find me on all my social media, which is at Presley Tennant. So PresleyTennant. Or you can go to my website, which is presleytennant.com, and everything is linked there, from new music to social media, tour dates, merch. And then if anyone needs to contact me, it goes directly to my email right there. There's a little like contact form. So I get to see it all. So if there's any way that anyone wants to talk, I'm always here.
Oh, that's good to know. That is good to know. And for the audience, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, this episode right now. It was an amazing episode. I really enjoyed it. And make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification button so I can bring on more lovely guests like Presley. Until then, Everyone have a peaceful evening. And Presley, again, thanks for coming on the platform, and I wish you much success.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, and you take care of yourself.
Thank you, you too.
I'm pretty sure I'll be hearing more music on the radio soon. So
well, thank you.
I can say, oh, I interview her. Ah!
oh my God, you're the sweetest.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye. You take care.
Bye.